Welcome to Bachelor Party. The Love is Blind extravaganza continues. I'm Juliet Litman. I'm here with Callie Curry. Hi, Callie.
Hello.
I want to talk about the breakups. 2 explosive breakups. And then, of course, we'll talk about all the other couples. I'm still confused about what's going on with Tyler. Actually, I would say I'm more confused than last week in terms of Tyler's children and whatever. It's a lot to get.
I think I'm more clear on his situation, but I'm more confused at what his choices are.
Yeah, we'll talk that through. But I want to start with the breakup. Should we talk about Nick and Hannah, or should we talk about Drake, aka Tim, and Alex?
I think let's start with Nick and Hannah.
I'm so out on Hannah. She's a real villain. We haven't really had someone like her kind of in a while. And wow, I think she sucks. That was like pretty harsh. This thing about like, I'm more mature than you, it's just patently incorrect. She has like different life skills. She has more like applicable life skills. But in terms of like emotion, she is not more mature. And I don't know, like,
no.
It's just really hard to watch someone continually put someone else down. And that's just what she was doing.
And by the way, well, there's so many things. First, I'll say on the mature front that the way that Katie handled the conversation with Nick, to me, we don't know Katie that well, but from just that conversation, I was like, yeah, maybe you are more mature and maybe he is not what you wanted. But like how she communicated that was not awful. And I thought was really nice. And she said like a million good things about him and was just also like, I didn't think that you were mature enough because of these things that you said or these things that I got from you. But like, I feel like you've grown so much and whatever. I was like, what a nice conversation to watch compared to any conversation we watch with Nick and Hannah.
I think at that point, Katie is 35, 9 years older than Hannah. And like, that's just like a lot of life. I was actually just saying.
And how much older than Nick?
7 years older. I am 38 and I feel like so far from my 26-year-old self. Like you grow a lot in those years.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And so I think that was really, really coming through. The Katie piece was interesting. She was like basically in episode 1 and then we saw her again at the party and that's kind of it. Yeah. I wish she'd been on the show. I thought she was.
Yeah, I liked her.
Yeah. Like she seems great. I guess she didn't find anyone, so she couldn't be on the show, but I really liked her too. She's the one who worked for the Ravens and she did like speak with a lot of empathy. However, telling your like alleged best friend, I have to assume Hannah's never had friends before if this is her best friend in the whole world.
That was my next point. Like, did you know her before the show?
I don't think so. How? No.
My best friend in the whole wide world.
She said that multiple times.
Multiple times. Nick was like, if that's your best friend, why don't you call her and ask her? I was like, great point, Nick.
Great point. I've actually, though they were both drunk, I thought he handled himself very well in that conversation. I like seeing him get mad too.
I think that he handled it better, but he seemed more drunk to me.
Definitely. Yes, he was definitely more drunk. I kind of liked it though. Like I just got really sick of watching him like lie down for the insult and just be like, and like taking them. I will say he is not equipped. He's not equipped to go back at Hannah. Also, maybe he doesn't want to. I think a lot of these men actually like a kind of dominant woman or at least to an extent. He was so unable to like go back at her whenever she was insulting him. And that was just like unattractive and hard to watch. So I appreciated him kind of getting it up a little bit when he was drunk. But anyway, Katie clearly doesn't consider Hannah her best friend if she multiple times went to her and like, Nick is cute, Nick is hot, or whatever. Like it's a fucked up thing to do. Maybe say it once in a kind of like, oh, he's cute, congratulations kind of way. Yeah. But repeating it, that's a no.
I would be totally fine if my friends were like, oh my God, he's way hotter than I thought he was going to be. Like, you got a good one. Done. Yeah. Saying it 7 times and then having a 40-minute conversation with him, I too would be like, Hannah, like, what the fuck was that about?
Yeah. But as Nick pointed out, she should have been mad at Hannah, not at him.
100%. Like Nick didn't even know that those comments were happening, which by the way, I think Nick was a little bit sad about his conversation with Hannah. I mean, with Katie, just because Hannah has like beat that in his head that he's like not good enough. He's too young. He's not mature. He has no life skills. Like, I don't even like, we only see a fraction of it. So like, imagine how many times Hannah has talked to him about those things. So hearing it even in a nice way from someone else, I think like had him, it seemed like he was like really doubting himself.
Yeah.
And then Hannah told him that Katie said he was hot and he was like, I'm good. Came right back to life.
All he needed was that one compliment. He was like, okay, great. I'm good.
I saw his like whole attitude change. Like he was like, oh, all right. It's not my fault. She called me hot 7 times, Hannah. I was
he's
like,
definitely calling
back.
Katie now. I'd love to know if he called back. Katie since.
That
was great.
I don't know if he'd call Katie because she clearly is not interested, but
no, I wouldn't be either. I have a lot of friends who have like married men who are like 5 years younger, but I think 35 to 28 is a tough difference.
Yeah. Also 35 to 28 and like Nick isn't like, an advanced 28-year-old.
Yeah. And he's just getting his career started and she like has one. It's just kind of, it's not compatible for modern dating.
No. And truthfully, I don't think Nick's ready. So
no.
I wrote down in my notes, I'm like, I don't even necessarily think that Hannah is wrong about everything that she's saying.
Agreed.
Emotionally, it seems that she is at Nick's level or maybe even under because of however her childhood was, which doesn't seem normal. But everything else, she's not wrong. Like financially, intellectually, it seems from what we've seen, obviously we don't know everything, that she is on a different level. But how she's handling it and how she is talking to him in general which is so crazy because she's like, all I'm asking for is respect. I'm like, how can you ask for respect when you are literally the most disrespectful person on this show? You're worse than Steven.
Oh my God, way worse. Steven just obviously has like some kind of, he has like vices, right? That he like gives into. She is just not nice. Even at the photo shoot, I was like, Jesus, lay off him for a minute. Like when she like is picking the photos, she's like, well, I want this for my bookmark. You don't read. And like a lot of people don't read. But she means that as like a real insult. Like you don't have the intellectual capacity to read. And
also like his little jokes of like, oh, you're good day to pick heels. It's a fucking joke. And she's like, oh, are you insecure? I thought you were secure. Are you insecure? Like, calm down. And by the way, maybe he is a little insecure. So you screaming that at him isn't going to make him more secure.
I know. There's just we didn't see them have fun together at all. I'm glad they broke up because there was no fun between those two. Maybe it happened and we didn't get to see it.
I'm glad she pointed out that they don't have the same humor because I was like, I don't know what your humor is. I've never seen you laugh.
Yeah. And he clearly likes like pranks and sort of like doing things to get a rise out of people. And she's
already risen, so she can't go beyond that. She stays rose. So when he tries to get a rise out of her, she like boils over.
It's true. She just shuts down. I think that she really prefers being around women. And I'm not saying like anything about her sexuality or whatever, but I just think like she seems so much happier with her friends than she does with Nick. And we didn't see her interact with really any of the other guys.
Yeah.
She's maybe just not ready for a relationship.
Yeah. And
he's not either. Not to like let him off the hook. He's just like a mild personality.
He's not at all.
And like I think he would be annoying to date because he's still like getting things going. Like maybe dating would be fine. He'd probably be like a good hookup if you enjoy hooking up with him because he like
probably not based on what Hannah said, but
it's true. But I guess something really casual with him could be okay, but he's not ready for something serious. So that's just like very clear.
No, but I also like he just generally didn't seem like a bad person. And I think that taking the amount that he took from Hannah without like completely exploding on her was like, to me, I was like, wow, what a great job. Because like I would have lost it on her at some point. But I wouldn't want to date him. And he's got to me, I think he has a long way to go. I think dating at 20, like if he dated like a 24-year-old, they'd be fine.
Yeah. They could like learn adulthood together.
Yeah. I just think he's not there for like a full-on marriage with an adult.
Yeah. This is also kind of ridiculous, but his Instagram presence where he like posts everything with like a rap lyric is very immature. It's also like not even like a deep lyric, but he's just sort of like posting a trendy rap song and like taking a quote from it and then like a carousel of pictures of him in different outfits. I'm just like, yeah, this reminds me of someone who's 28.
Yeah. I was gonna say that doesn't bother me that much for that age.
Yeah, it's age appropriate, I guess, but it's sort of just like not appealing.
I saw in an interview that he just bought a house though. So
oh my God, congrats, Nick.
Yeah.
Great news.
He was like, yeah, I was with my parents because I was saving money.
Right, which makes sense. Yeah. I support that. I think there's nothing wrong with living with your parents to save money and get yourself set up for success. Like, I think that's a great thing to do if it's an option to you and if it works for you.
I'd also say that Hannah seemed like she was out it seemed for at least a few days that she was like telling everyone she was out in different ways.
Yeah.
And if that is the case, I don't think you need to go and tell the other girls about his
disinterest in going down on you.
Yeah.
Just said it in the most crass way possible, which again, me being rude, but I just didn't care for it.
No, I didn't. When I'm talking to my friends, I'm not saying it that way personally.
Either. In fact, I don't even want to say it right now on the podcast.
I'm not going to say it. So we're on the same page.
Okay, good.
But, I also hesitate to say this, but it's just interesting to me. I'm so interested for the reunion because she has literally lost, I'm guessing, 50 pounds.
A lot of weight, yeah.
Like, looks like a different person.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like wonder, I guess it must happen when people go on television, because obviously we see this happen all the time. But like, she's been doing this before because,
she's been, I think, on a pretty long wait. Well, she says in the pod, she tells Leo she had just lost 40 pounds. So I think she had been on a pretty long weight loss journey. Because this is now, I thought this was filmed.
A year?
It's been a year. But Taylor says to Garrett at one point, like, it's 2022. So she either made a mistake or it was filmed 2 years ago. So I'm curious about that. I can't tell.
Well,
Instagrams. I was trying to figure it out.
Yeah. I was trying to think of the weather too. It wasn't freezing cold.
No, it was in the fall. They all make it clear that it's like October, November. It's pre-Thanksgiving.
Huh.
But it gets chilly. So it's been at least a year, maybe two. So Hannah, I think, had a pretty long, like I said, like weight loss journey. And she's talked about it in press and stuff. But yeah, I think that their physical like connection, I'm not using that as a euphemism for sex. Like, I think the way that they work together physically, like you could see it in the photo shoot. Like, she was calling him out when he made a comment about her heels, but she is really sensitive, I think, about her physical self, especially in relation to him. And that's also kind of hard to watch, honestly. Like, I relate to it, and it's hard to see on TV. So I don't know if that also contributed to some of her behavior.
I don't know.
We'll see.